Hi guys, how have you guys been doing? Well, I'm doing very good today. So today I'm doing a movie review of the second Hocus Pocus movie from 2022. The first movie came out in 1993. Now this movie takes place after the events of the first movie from 1993. And this one took place in 2022. It got released and it's on Disney Plus. Yeah, the first one is also on Disney Plus, and this one is as well. The film was directed by Anne Fletcher. That the original Hocus Pocus movie was directed by Kenny Ortega. And this movie is now directed by Annie Fletcher. And so, this movie does not have the same cast from the first movie. The only ones who do appear is the Sanderson sisters and Billy. And so there's a new cast in this movie. There's new ones. Oh, Tony Hale. Tony Hale is in this movie. And I remember him from something. I remember it. He was in Toy Story 4 and he played Forky. He was in Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate. And he was in a series of unfortunate events, the TV series, and there he played Jerome Squallery. And here he plays, here he plays the father to Casey. No. And so the new cast for this movie, Becca is played by Whitney Peak. Izzy's played by Belisa S. Corbedo. Oh God. Leela Buckingham plays Cassie Trask. Sam Richardson plays Gilbert. Doug Jones once again plays Billy Butcherson. Hannah Whittingham plays Mother Witch. Sarah Jessica Parker once again plays Sarah Sanderson. Bette Midler once again plays Winifred Sanderson. And Kathy Najimy plays Mary Sanderson. Taylor Henderson plays young Winifred. Roy Gutierrez plays Mike. Dan Finetri plays Lucas. Nina Kitchen plays young Mary, Taylor Henderson plays young Winifred, and Juju Johnny Winter plays young Sarah. Thomas Vickerson plays John Pritchett. Brett Cramp plays Mr. Pritchett. And Austin J. Ryan plays young Billy Butcherson. Michael Joe plays Mr. Welk. Scott Sosa plays Teen Winifred. Aiden Hurst plays Teen Mary. Emma Kaufman plays Teen Sarah. Colligan Katstada Singh plays Tom. And Jen Pryor plays Teen Gilbert. So now let's get into the plot of the movie, but I can't fritter too much away. The movie starts off on a flashback in 1653 in Salem, which is what the first movie took place in. This movie takes place once again in Salem, but these are not the kids from the first movie. These are a bunch of new kids. Look, this is Winifred, Mary, and Sarah. Yeah, and they lived in the town of Salem. Now, there were rods and mean kids. Oh, and this is the judge in the movie. Yeah, these are all the villagers, and that's Mr. Pritchett, or John Pritchett. And then there's Billy Butcherson, the young version of him. That's him, William Butcherson. And I was about to execute them, but he managed to escape. So they head to the woods. So he's just buried. And it's buried. And it's revealed to be a witch. Her name is Mother Witch. So she gives the sisters, a spell book of teaching them how to use magic. Yes, the same spell book from the first movie that the witches used the spell book to do magic. Yeah, no, and the eye's still open. And then they use the spell book to start casting a spell to cast them out of Salem to burn down Mr. Pritchett's house. And all the villagers head out of the house, and the sisters' revenge has been completed. So then years later in the present day in Salem, and also took place 30 years later after the events of the first movie from 1993, the film is now taking place in 2022. So when we first meet the main character, it's Becca, and her friends, Izzy and Cassie. And there's Izzy. And there's Cassie. Yeah, her father is the mayor. That's right. And so Cassie has a crush on a guy named Matt. On a guy named Zach. Or what was the guy's name again? Oh, Mike. That's right, Mike. Oh, yeah. And then they head to class. We're taking a test. Becca tries to catch a spell on Mike, but then Mike realizes it. Then Becca and Mike both get in detention. Then after school, Becca and Izzy run into the mayor. Mayor Trask, who is the father to Cassie, the father. They head into a shop, and the owner is Gilbert. It's Gilbert, and he's like a wizard, and he has black flame candles in his house and spell books, which belong to the Sanderson sisters. He tells the kids the story of the Sanderson sisters when they killed Emily Binks in 1653. Or 1693, that's right. And so then Gilbert also has a cat, but it's not the same cat from the first movie, the one who talks. It's not the same one. Yeah, this is his cat, Cobweb. Yeah, the cat's named Cobweb. So Gilbert gives Becca and Izzy a candle to do some magic. So Becca and Izzy head to the forest, and they use a candle to do some magic, and then the Sanderson sisters come back from the dead because they lit the black flame candle. The kids, they leave them to a shop where they can find potions, but then the witches realize that Becca and Izzy are children, and they're looking for children so that they can kill them. So then Becca and Izzy leave the store, and the sisters are chasing them. They head to Gilbert's house, and they confront him about the candle. It's revealed that Gilbert actually knew it was a black flame candle, and that he tricked them into lighting it so that the witches can be risen back from the dead, and they confront him for this. And the witches appear, and they trap them in the basement. In the basement, and Gilbert appears, and he reveals to them that he has been trying to bring them back since the night that the witches were there in the graveyard, and it's from the events of the first movie. That he has been trying to bring them back since the night that the sisters fought Max and Danny and Allison, and then when they captured the two bullies, they locked them in the cages. But now they're gone. And then, yeah, look, you see that? That was Gilbert when he was young. So then the witches, so Gilbert gives them an hourglass, and the sisters are going after the mayor. Then Gilbert heads to the graveyard and he raises Billy back from the dead. Billy Butcherson, the same zombie from the first movie. We saw him in the flashback at the beginning of the movie. Because he lived in the town of Salem and he knew about the Senators and Sisters. And that Billy and Winifred shared one kiss in the graveyard. And then Billy comes back from the dead, and then Gilbert explains why he raised him back. It's because the Senators and Sisters are back again. Now Gilbert really needs his help of doing a spell to kill the witches for good. So Gilbert and Billy team up. So then, back to Becca and Izzy, they escape from the house by using magic. So then they try to call Cassie, but it isn't working because the spell is cast on the phones as well. So then the witches head into town and they perform. And now they're chasing after Becca and her friends. So they head to Cassie's house, and then they all hide, and the witches are about to capture Mike. But then he joins them. And then he asks them why they raised back the sisters. And they tell him why. It's because Gilbert had forced them into lighting the black flame candle. And so meanwhile, back to Billy and Gilbert, they're hanging out in the carnival. And then when they head to Gilbert's house, Billy realizes that Gilbert had tricked him into thinking that he actually used the spell to kill the sisters for good, but it's revealed that he was been cursed by the witches and that he wasn't really killing them, he was helping them. So Billy confronts him for lying to him, and Billy heads out and Gilbert tries to ask him for help, but this time he doesn't believe him because Gilbert had tricked him. Then Gilbert pulls up Billy's head, and then he heads to the graveyard to prepare for the witches to come. He puts his head in a cauldron. So Becca and her friends are fighting the Senators and Sisters in the garage, and then the mayor comes home and her father. And now the father does not want to hear a single word from them because today he's been having a very bad day. So he heads back in his house. The witches capture Cassie. They head to the graveyard and the witches meet up with Gilbert. So the witches betray Gilbert and then they knock him out and he flies somewhere in the woods. And then the witches try to destroy the girls, but Becca is a witch. Yes, reveal Becca's a witch because she has powers. Okay. So then, the witches are about to finish them off, but then Mary and Sarah both disappear. So then Winifred is so sad that her friends are gone. Back when her friends use the spell from the spell book so that Winifred can join with them. So then Winifred vanishes and she comes with them. So this time so Gilbert and Billy come back, but Billy doesn't have his head, it's just the body. And then the girls tell them that the Sanderson sisters are gone. And then Gilbert now apologizes for everything that he caused. He had apologized for everything that he did. So the girls forgive him. So then Gilbert heads back to his shop, and then the girls head off into the night. And we see the bird of the Mother Witch. And then in the post-credit scene, so Billy gets his body back, his head, and then he vanishes as well as the Sanderson sisters. And then the girls head off at night. They're about to head back home to watch a scary movie. And then in the post-credit scene, Gilbert's cat Cobweb, he's hanging out in the house in the shop, and he senses the return of the Sanderson sisters. So that's the end of the movie. So is this movie as good as the first movie? No. It's not as good. It's not good like the first movie, not even close. But there is still some good things about the movie. The first thing is, I love that the Sanderson sisters are back, including Billy Butcherson. But all the cast from the first movie, they weren't in the second movie. They switched the cast of characters. I love how they returned in the movie, and I love the backstory that they had in the beginning of the movie. Yeah, the beginning of it. And there's 2 songs I like in the movie. There's One Way or Another and Come Little Children. Some of the scariest scenes in the movie is pretty good for the most part. And so those are the only few positives I have with the movie. So now I'm going to get into the negatives. The first issue is that I hated the new characters in the movie. Yeah, I love the ones from the first movie. Max, Danny, and Allison. I don't like these 3 girls. They're not good like the characters from the first movie. Yeah, and I also like Gilbert as well. And I love the cat that he has. So those are the only few of the characters that I like in the movie. But I don't like any of the other characters in the movie. Now the story is so awful. But I do like the flashback of the sisters. So, and as well, the soundtrack is very awful. I thought the Sanderson sisters were good. Here are the bad guys. Although they weren't as good as they were in the first movie. Yeah, they weren't as good as they were. I thought special effects are so pathetic, and I thought the visuals are so horrendous, and I thought the editing is so treacherous. Also, the settings and locations are very awful. And the structure in it was so bad. And also the pacing is so stupid. And also the steaming is so ridiculous. And the direction was so awful because there was no direction in this movie. As well, the background is so aimless. I felt a lot of the action scenes weren't good. I like the first movie better. The second one is not good. The second one's not good. And also, as well, the CGI is so horrendous. I just felt the climax battle of the ending was so pathetic. And also I felt that the ending of the movie was so awful. I do like to see that post-credit scene that we had, which is the cobweb, which is a cat. So that's it. So I really don't like this movie. This movie did have some good elements, but it's so not good. The story's not good. This movie is so rushed. The first movie was good. The first movie was a classic. This movie's bad. So bad. So let's want to give this movie a 2 out of 5 stars, which is a D-. I thought we could have had another movie with the same kids from the first movie. Yeah, I thought we could have had. So no. So also this movie gets a 3 out of 10. So I really don't like this movie. So thank you guys for joining my movie review / rant on Hocus Pocus 2 from 2022. And don't forget to like and comment and share and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys next time. And goodbye everyone. See you soon. Until next time.